In this video, let's explore how to create a shared enemy experience. The enemy uses the nav mesh, which every client creates. Either creates or downloads. So we can expect that nav mesh can be used to move an enemy. But if every client randomly created an enemy, then you might have too many enemies all at once. You'd be stepping on each other's toes. So we should have the leader. The leader should assess the situation. How many current enemies there are. Decide when to create new enemies. And navigate the enemies to the players. So these are kind of leader duties, right? And okay, let's do the first part. In our scene manager, we have this bit that is listening for a new leader message. Now remember, we're going to get this message. Let's just search for that. I believe we get that from space server. So choose leader will broadcast a new leader message to everybody saying this is the new leader. And when does it do it? It will do it inside choose leader. And what executes choose leader? Okay, this seems to be part of the event. So on every event that comes in, if the message type, this is a symbol, is when somebody enters or when somebody left, then that allows us to choose a new leader if we don't have one. So if we get a member entered and our state doesn't have a leader yet, then we'll say this guy that just entered, typically the person who's the first one into this space, is the new leader, and we broadcast that to everyone. And anyone else enters the space, we won't broadcast anything. But if somebody leaves and that person who left is the current leader, then we'll go through the list of members, find the next person. So member IDs gives this, and if there's at least one other member, then we'll broadcast this is the new leader. Otherwise, it means everybody left, and we just say that the leader is unset at that point. Okay, seems pretty good. So why don't we just wrap this into a call a function? So if leader is true, let's say init leader duties, and we'll call this I'm the leader, and we'll say this init leader duties. So from here we can see if we have spawners, this entities filter by entity, where the and return entity type equal to enemy spawner. If that's true, I think we can simplify this like this. For each one of these, we can, for each, here's the spawner. We'll do something here. So first, let's tidy this up a bit. Whoops. Console.log will create a spawner. And maybe get the entity spawner dot name. Alright, so once we enter the space and become the leader, create, okay, so we got one of these. And what should we do in here? We should consult the I'd like to be able to call a class that's like this. Perhaps it's nav manager, this nav manager, and then call something here. Add spawner. And then give it the spawner name and position. Something like that. Spawner name. Okay, let's go to nav manager and add this spawner business. So we could make a add spawner. I'm in the wrong place. Over here, nav manager. Let's see, we did create a crowd agent thing, which we commented out. This creates a single thing, crowd agent. Let's revisit this code. So what does this thing do? It takes a scene manager, and then we pull out the scene from the scene manager. We have access to the plugin, scene manager navigation plugin. So maybe we can just pass that in. Pass in the plugin, pass in the scene, and then what do we have going on? We're listening to an event like game started, in which case we built a box called an enemy. Then we set some agent parameters. This navigation plugin create crowd. Okay, so it needs a crowd system. I think we can handle this with just one crowd system. In fact, maybe nav manager should create this crowd system. so that we can just submit the crowd. Then we can just have something that creates an agent for every spawn point. Why don't we stick to one class until we find it necessary to split this out? On before render, this is, what is it? Move agent toward the next target. On. Oh, so whenever we're moving around, it's just telling it to follow. I think that's maybe too much. But we also do need to create a. Okay, let's pass in the crowd and the navigation plugin. Yeah, let's split it up. Let's do create the crowd. Where's our crowd? Crowd. Here we go. This guy. Copy. Nav manager. Let's say crowd. Public crowd is a Babylon I crowd. Constructor. Navigation plugin. This crowd. Create crowd. What's the first parameter? Maximum amount of agents. Max agent radius. And the scene. Maximum amount of agents is 10. We'll probably have more than that, maybe. 20. Is 20 too many? Say 25. Const max agents equal 25 max agents. And what is this? This next one is max agent radius. Const max agent radius equal, let's say, 1 meter. Alright, so now we have a crowd. Now let's create an agent. So here we'll just pass in the agent manager. And we don't need this. It doesn't do anything yet, so let's just instantiate this. Public agent manager can be an agent manager. Let's rename this file. Rename this to agent manager. And then we'll fix this. Always automatically update inputs. Yeah, do that. Okay. Agent manager. Okay. So this should have a method for adding a spawner. So we can have a list of public spawners. Spawn points is a type that has a name, which is a string, and a position, which is a let's just say that it is a Babylon vector 3 or a number array. Position is fine. And that is also a list of those. So when you add a spawn point, add spawner, give me a name and give me a position, which is a number, and this is a string, and I'll just push it into this thing, shall we? Since it only has 2 attributes, we could just make an object, a name with position. Yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we say key is a string, like so. And then when we add a spawner, we'll just say this spawner, spawn points. These are not really spawners, this is spawn points. We call it enemy spawners. Enemy spawn points. Or agent spawn points. This agent spawn points name equal position. Done. That's all it does. It just adds that. So, scene manager. Here's our leader stuff. Leader unit. So we do this. Nav manager. I think we need to traverse into the thing. Nav manager dot agent manager dot agent add agent spawn point, spawner name, spawner components. Let's give it the position. Here, const position equal a spawner dot components filter where the c dot type is equal to position 0, or we'll just make one up, which will be the origin. So this component will just be fake. Type position and data value 0, and then it will be position dot data dot value. Agent manager has no export. Agent manager has no export member. Nav manager. Oh, alright, did we initialize this thing? Nav manager. Agent manager. Right, we gotta create this thing. Crowd. Yeah, we gotta give it the thing. So this agent manager equal new agent manager, passing in the crowd. Probably also need this scene. Okay, import crowd agent. Oh yes. Let's see, we didn't fix this yet. Import agent. Well, I don't need this anymore. Cannot read properties undefined. Get nav mesh. Something is off. Alright, you'll see some red here. Crowd agent in scene manager. Don't need this. Still no good. Something still cannot find no crowd agent. Okay, what is this part of this? New crowd agent. Okay, don't need this. And over here, what is it? TS config, crowd agent. I think it's okay. Item to int member left. Let's close this and restart, shall we? Okay. Let me resolver. Yes. Space resolver. Create enemy spawner. It's right here. Create enemy spawner. 1, 2, 3. Why does this say undefined or private? These are also wrong, but I don't know. Huh. If you just use that, now there's no problems? Weird. Okay, where am I? Scene manager. Oh wait, come back here. Come back to here. Start my space. Something's still off. Can't read property of undefined get nav mesh. Get nav mesh. I think there might be a race condition because the Recast.js plugin is just a call here, but this immediately fails here. So if we do console log, either way, this doesn't seem immediately ready. So we should wait for some signal, perhaps. At what point do we create the crowd? After I'm the leader. Yes. Or after a leader is chosen. What if you come in and you never get the leader message? So at least after you've joined the scene. Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can say signal hub local on client ready. That's when you are going to play. Otherwise, no monsters, right? That makes sense. Subscribe, and don't care what it is, but at that point we can create these things. Yes. Oops, still cannot set properties of undefined setting this. agent manager add. Okay, so, oh yes, it needs an initial value. Yes, agent manager. Can we go to the agent manager? So here we need to say that this agent spawn points is an empty object. So that enter, enter, and enter. Okay. So now if we say nav manager, agent manager, I want to inspect this. We can see that the agent spawn points contains one enemy spawner. And even if we're not the leader, do we get one? No, we don't. We don't need one. We don't need enemy spawners anywhere else. Oh, but you do. You need the crowd system. Everybody needs the crowd system. Everybody has a crowd system. Nav. So is this a leader? A leader duty? Leader duties. You're adding a spawn point. That's probably fine. I think this is probably fine. This is just to record it. You just need to know what the agent spawn points are. And then we're going to add a watcher. So on agent manager, start spawning. This nav manager, agent manager, will say start spawning we gotta create this start spawning thing. So agent manager, let's say start spawning, and we'll just do this once. Let's say where's our agent? Agent parameters. Agent parameters, and we've got our crowd. We're going to create a box and put it into transform. Here's our box. Babylon? Yeah, we've got Babylon. Sure. What's this? Babylon can be used in the tether type. Okay, remove this part. Don't think I need this yet. What else? What else? Enemy. and we want to stick enemy in a transform. And then do agent index add crowd agent. So we created a box, we created a transform node, stuck the mesh into the transform node under the parent, and then we're going to allow this agent to create the agent at a certain position, and the position will use the first spawning position. And let's let the position equal object values from this agent spawn points first. So we created an agent. Here's the transform, here's the agent params, and we need to save this agent. Actually, we need everybody to create this. So instead of creating it directly here, why don't we send a message to the server to be broadcast? We say enemy created. It's not an entity, it won't be preserved, it won't go into the database. We'll call it agent. Agent spawned with a position. Then when we receive it, we shall do something with it. So let's hold your horses. Start spawning. So start spawning will do something else. Let's move all of this stuff into create agent. It will have an agent agent name and a position, which is a number. Agent name will be a string. What's the deal with this? Duplicate identifier position. Okay, sure. So start spawning will have some called by leader and create an event. So that is a legit event, like all the other events. So this one will be agent spawned. Agent. How about just the name? Position. We got to go create this. Agent spawned. Becomes, let's say 7,000. Very good. We're going to create that message. Agent spawned. Okay, so we created a new message. Agent manager starts spawning. Let's let the event equal message, which is event name dot agent spawned. The payload, and this is also a kind of type. Types. Let's import it. Import event from types. Where's this red here? Where? Oh, here. Yep. So this is agent spawned and requires a name and the position, which will just be right. Position, const position once again equal this agent spawn points object values the first one. We have called by the leader. Of course, in the leader, leader duties for each, if you have an enemy spawner, then for each you will do add an agent spawn point for each. You won't call start spawning for each. You'll add agent spawning for each. And finally, we've added all the spawn points, and then just spawn, but spawn won't do anything if you have any. Let's say this nav manager, agent manager, start spawning. But if you go to start spawning, if this agent spawn points is equal to, or how about keys? Object keys for this dot length is 0, and just return. Means if you don't have any spawn points, don't do anything. Otherwise, you get the first position, and you're just gonna, for now, just spawn from one of these. Otherwise, we can randomly select from a position. Does JavaScript have a function? JS array random. Okay, we'll look into it later. To do random select. Okay. So we've got an event. You're saying agent spawned. The name can be agent underscore what now? Utils import random ID from utils, random ID 5. Then we broadcast this. So signal hub dot outgoing emit event value is this event. And we need that to come back to ourselves too. So signal hub incoming emit event. And then we need to listen for it. So let's put that in the constructor. Is that signal hub incoming on event and pipe filter, where the event dot m part is equal to event name dot agent spawned. So if that's the case, then you subscribe, and here's the event, and then we should call this create agent using the event payload name followed by event payload dot position. Name does not exist on blah 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 blah. This is an event, right? Let's see. Types, event, agent spawned, name, and position. Looks like it does to me. Named is not agent manager. Let's try some of these things. Can we do npm run type check? Okay, there's a bug here in Bullet Manager. Okay, Bullet Manager should probably not do anything with this yet. Bullet Manager takes the scene manager, this business, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let's fix this. Let's just comment this out for now. What else? What else was the other problem? The property of name does not exist on member ID Mike muted, member ID nickname, member ID this other thing, member ID or maybe if we call it ID. Got 11 more. How do we show them? P dot, yeah, payload dot, a bunch of stuff here. It's okay getting these in, but to get them out, console.log incoming spawn event and event. I'm the leader. Create a spawner enemy. Incoming spawn event is this name and position. Alright, I get the right data. It's just TypeScript's fighting me here. There's our little agent. Cool. And everybody should have gotten it, right? So, if I'm over in Firefox, and now he's got to get the agents another way because he came in late, but I'm going to load him into the space. Okay, I'm over here, so I don't see an agent, but if he just reloads, since he remains the leader, uh-oh, now this guy created it. Because he's the leader now. I'm going to refresh here. Enter, enter, enter. Oh yeah, I mean, he doesn't get the message, and so this is the leader. We would have to have them both. Well, yeah, the leader is creating the spawn right away. We could simulate this if we just waited a little bit. Let's just wait a little bit. So when you say start spawning, let's just wait a little bit. So we'll just do a set timeout. How about that? Set timeout. And a function to run. And let's just wait 2 seconds. Okay, so nobody's the leader yet. If this guy joins here, he becomes the leader. I'm the leader. And then, hurry, hurry, hurry. Ah, I missed it, I missed it. Make it a little longer. Make it 5 seconds. Alright. 1,000 to 1,000. Okay, and go, go, and go. There you go. Enemy uncreated both sides. So we do need to solve for when you come in late and you don't receive that message, we need a way of sending down the number of messages. So we got to persist that on the server somewhere. So let's handle that next time.